We've talked about the future of lots of British theme parks, Busch Gardens Tampa a few weeks ago, Kentucky Kingdom, and today we're talking all about the future of SeaWorld Orlando, including what I think their next roller coasters and other rides should be, the direction that I think that the park is going in, and at the end of the video, the chances I think there are of the surf coaster being built. Before we get into today's video, I'd just like to say that you can follow me on my Facebook and Instagram pages that are linked below for roller coaster photos, quizzes, my thoughts on theme park news, and to be able to vote on video topics, but of course no pressure. Thanks for watching today, and let's get straight into the video. SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment have been going in a very different direction in recent years, with much more of a focus on rides in their parks, and they seem to be very keen to keep this up, with leaked plans already out there for even more new roller coasters at their parks over the next few years. 3 or 4 years down the line, I would like to see a giant GCI wooden coaster built that will become the best wooden coaster in Florida. I'm thinking about Texas Stingray in size, but with more of an out and back layout as opposed to it all being curled up in one big plot of land. I'd love to see a drop like the one on Renegade at Valley Fair, lots of ejector airtime hills like on Boulder Dash, and plenty of sharp turns. Hopefully it will hold through a layout like this, with the drop being fairly big and then lots of elements closer to the ground, and this will definitely be a thrill coaster, where it can reach speeds of over 60 miles an hour and have a drop of over 100 feet, making it into a mega coaster which I'm sure they can use to help advertise it somehow. Of course, the roller coasters, other major attractions and the marine life are the big draws for going to SeaWorld. But if they are wanting to take more of a theme park direction, then that means they need more rides, and half a dozen flat rides or so would definitely make the park more well-rounded. There are hundreds of different options they could choose from, including used ones, but looking at manufacturers they work with and rides that are popular right now, I'd choose a medium-sized S&S shot tower, but nothing huge as it can't compete with the drop tower that just opened up on the iDrive, a Sierra Star Shape, which will be the first one of those in the US, wave swinger, jet skis, and a couple of junior rides as well. I know that there is already Journey to Atlantis and Infinity Falls at the park, but this is Florida and it's boiling hot most of the time, and for that reason I'd love to see a third water ride. It would be great if SeaWorld Orlando became the first theme park to add one of Intamin's brand new water rides. The Ultra Surf, which would look amazing over the lake, probably wouldn't cost a fortune and would be very exciting but not too thrilling, so most people will be able to ride it and enjoy it. SeaWorld never really goes crazy with theming as long as it fits the feel that they're going for, and this certainly will, without them needing to put in much effort at all. And who doesn't want to go on a roller coaster, get lots of airtime and speed, and get drenched at the same time in the Florida sun? A very thrilling and intense roller coaster that I think will be an ideal fit for SeaWorld Orlando in the future is a Mack Extreme spinning coaster. And I know that you could say they've already got a spinning coaster with what I just talked about, but this is coming from the company that put Tempesto and Pantheon next to each other at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which are two very similar launch coasters, so I doubt they'd really be that bothered about this, to be honest. It doesn't have to be launched either, and a chain lift hill would work perfectly fine, and it then could be out over the water where Mako and Kraken are, with lots of turns and inversions to get the cars really spinning. Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland in Belgium and the Time Traveller at Silver Dollar City in Missouri have been met with rave reviews, and I see no reason why a coaster like this wouldn't be too. This coaster would be perfect for an indoor pre-show, but being realistic here, I doubt they will go that far, but could definitely have sea turtle themed trains, a turn and inversion over the midway, and some theming in the queue line to look at while waiting. But a good feature of these rides is that the throughput on them is excellent, and with a few mid-course break runs maybe, to give people a bit of a breather from all the intense elements for a few seconds, the throughput could be increased by even more. Mack Extreme Spinner is my favourite pick for a future new roller coaster at SeaWorld, but some other coaster additions that definitely could be added in the future too include a Max 4 style S&S air launch coaster, which could even be an alternative to the Intamin Surf Rider if they don't want another water ride, an S&S 4D free spin, which could be the first in Florida unless FunSpot beats them to it, but to be honest, since they're buying a massive new RMC for their Georgia park, I think that's quite unlikely right now, and also an RMC Raptor coaster. I know I've come out with a lot of roller coaster ideas in this video, But I can really see a lot of these happening, as SeaWorld are being really aggressive in their approach with expanding the coaster lineup in their parks, and fingers crossed this doesn't stop anytime soon. Last but definitely not least, I thought I'd talk about how we might be seeing the world's first B&M surf coaster come to SeaWorld Orlando. Riding a roller coaster like you're surfing is such a fun idea, and I'm really excited to see what happens with this. I really hope it gets built, and I'm very excited to ride it when it hopefully does. I think that the chances of this happening are very likely, given that when things have been leaked from SeaWorld in the past, they usually end up happening, and this just makes a lot of sense. We know that B&M are designing a new ride concept, they've worked with SeaWorld for decades, and the site and layout leaked, they seem to work really well and fit nicely. At this point, I'd be more surprised if it didn't happen, to be honest. These were just some of my thoughts on what I'd like to see go to SeaWorld Orlando in the future, and please do leave your ideas in the comments. It will be really interesting to see what everyone thinks. My social media pages are linked below. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more like this, but no pressure of course, and I'll see you in the next video, which I'll put a poll on Instagram for nearer the time if you'd like to help decide what it is. Have a great day.